it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and I'm going to just finish up this is the January block from Wallflower, and come on. Like, is that so amazing? So embellishments can take your block from cute to holy cow, that is so adorable. So I already started doing some of the rhinestones here, so I kind of wanted to show you how to do that if you've never done rhinestones before. I have two rhinestone setters. I have this one that I've had for like ever. I probably had it for 10 years before I ever used it, and although I like it, I just got this new one that I love. So things I love, I mean, this is all I had because this was in a cardboard package, and then Poppy ripped it to shreds. So all I had were the innards, and I was like, how do I even use this? It's so different from this one. So this one is going to be cordless, which I love. And you're just going to put in your batteries. I figured that out. They just go here into the tail end of this. And there was no like on off switch. All you do is hold this down and it makes the tip hot. The other thing is for this one, you had several different like applicators that you needed to put on according to the size. So there were 8 different tips. I looked at this and went, where's my tip? You don't have a tip. You just have this big flat end that gets really hot. So I'm going to put the rhinestones on first. So if you look at this, let's get even closer. Here we go. You're just going to put your rhinestones on the very ends of each of these. I think that's the stamen, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take those out. I already did these because I figured you're not going to have to sit here and watch. So we just need 4 of them. And if you have a different applicator, I want you to just read your instructions. I was like, I need to figure these out because I have no instructions because Poppy ripped the box to shreds. But it was that easy. So you're just going to take your, if you want to use tweezers, you can use tweezers, but you're just going to take each rhinestone and just put it where you want to set it. Like that one I'm putting right on the end, right there. And I am just going to take my applicator. I'm going to squeeze it. It's going to be red. I'm going to take that flat end and I'm just going to put it on the top of my rhinestone. Maybe it'll help you if I go at an angle like this. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. I'm just going to squeeze it and I'm just going to put it on the top here and I'm going to hold it down. And it says to do it for 5 to, I think it was 5 to like 25 seconds. So I was just counting to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And then what that does is, and you can just check it. Yep, mine's not budging at all. There is glue on the back of these. You need to have the hot fix ones. It's not going to work if there's the ones that you need glue with. It melts that and then it sticks to your fabric. So I'm just going to get the next one and let's place it. And that tip is going to be hot. Where is it? Don't touch that tip. It's going to be really hot. Okay. So hang on a second. I'm setting up my camera arm so I don't have to hold the arm, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this with my finger just so it's right where I want it. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to hold it down. Sorry about the shadows. Let's see if I can get a better angle like that. Is that better? And you're just going to hold it there. And it's going to, whoops, did I move that one a little bit? So pair of tweezers might come in handy too. And quite honestly, I was counting to 12. So I'm going to count in my head so you don't have to listen to me count. And I'm holding this down the whole time. You want this, there's your button. You're going to manually hold it and it's going to be red and that means it's hot while you're doing that. And that was 12 seconds. Yep, he's totally adhered down. Is this like great? Because on the other one you had to kind of it was like a little pocket, and you needed to put the rhinestone in there, and then it would stick. So this is so much easier. I just love it. I'm like, how smart was this? Okay, so just place it and then squeeze this so it's red. Put the flat end on top of your rhinestone. Oh, sorry. I have my filming arm in front of me and the project, so sometimes it makes it a little difficult to see. I'm sliding. There we go. Sorry for the shadows, but you kind of get the picture, right? Here, let me move my arm this way. Tilt it the other direction. But it makes the whole rhinestone hot, and then it makes the underside gooey. It melts the glue, and then it sticks. And like I said, I was finding 12 seconds was perfect. I'm going to put this last one down. Be careful because that last rhinestone's probably still hot. Okay. Just going to count to 12. I actually counted to 15. But those are totally adhered. And look how cute that is. It just makes it. It bumps it to a new level. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew my buttons on. And I did this in the class, but I thought I'd do another video in case you didn't watch the whole class. So I'm going to put this button on. It only came with one butterfly button. So I'm going to look in my stash and see if I have something else that might be really fun that I could put on there. Or else, I think I did have 2 packs of buttons. So let me go ahead and put that down. So I don't have another set of buttons, but I did want to put an embellishment on here too. So this goes back to my scrapbooking days, and I have all of these fun embellishments. So I thought, hey, we could use this little heart with wings, and it actually is a sticker, but I'm going to go ahead and just sew it down so we have something over there. We could just put a little heart in there too. Let's see how this one looks. These are kind of fun because they, I can just snap them back in. Sounds like somebody's here. I'll do that one, that little butterfly. All right, I'm actually filming on my Aveneer, and I am going to show you how I'm not loving that little guy. So I have an extra button set at the store that I'm going to use, and also the other butterfly on there. So I'm going to go into sewing. I never hand sew buttons. I hate hand sewing buttons. You have a button sewing stitch that a lot of people never use, but once you use it once, you're going to use it all the time. So I'm on my Aveneer, and I'm going to show you how to do it on here. So again, you have a push and a pull. These are your 2 filing cabinets, and these are your folders with all your stitches. I'm in utility, and I'm going to go to my buttonhole folder. If you are on a different machine, usually there is a button sewing stitch. So it's going to look like that. It's going to look like a little picture of a button. And all it does is it does a zigzag stitch without any length. So it doesn't advance. It just stitches right in place. It's telling me right here that I want my M foot. This is my handy dandy M foot. And if you've never used it before, let's talk about your M foot. So your M foot has a little metal, I don't even know, like brace part right here. And you are going to slide your button, and your button is held by that as well as the white plastic part. So you're going to put it between the two. And if you have a button like I do that has 4 holes, you're going to sew on the first, you're going to sew on your first set of holes, and then you're going to pull it forward, and then you will sew on your second set. You have it creates a shank, this plastic part. So I'm going to take this out. But if you look here, there it is coming forward. Here, I'm going to pull it back. Do you see it? Okay, so the plastic part is right there. I'm going to slide it forward. There, you see that? And slide it back. What you do is sometimes you want to pull it forward so the button doesn't get sewn on so tight and then you can't get it into the buttonhole. My mom always showed me how to sew it on, and then I would wrap the thread around the base of the, like you would sew it on and then wrap the thread around the base, like under here, so it wasn't sewn down so tight. We'd wrap it under there. But with these, I want these sewn down nice and tight. So I am going to pull back that plastic part. So that plastic part's going to go back. And geez, it's right here. I'm showing you it's right here. Forward and back. So I'm going to leave it back. I'm going to take my button, I'm going to sandwich it underneath, and you have those red dots right there. You're going to line up those red dots with your first set of buttonholes. So I know your angle might not be perfect. Your zigzag is set up for 3.5, and that's going to work with most buttonholes. So we've also got to put this foot on. You might need your extra lift. See how I have extra lift? So you might need your extra lift, and I'm just going to lower this down. You heard it click on there. So my foot is on, and I'm going to go ahead and slide this on and just make sure it's kind of like in the middle. Once you get it on there, you might have to adjust those buttonholes a little bit more. Let me see. Can you see it? That's the best angle I can get for you. So I'm sorry. And you can't really see those holes, but they're right there. There's a lot for your needle to smash into. So my recommendation is you hand roll your needle. It's going to start with a locking stitch, but I'm going to hand roll it down into the right hole. Make sure it goes into the right hole without hitting anything. Looks perfect. Is my needle's not even threaded. Hang on. Let's thread her up. How did that happen? So we're going to thread it. Okay. They've redesigned this a little bit. Oh, it might not thread because, oh, you know, before on the other machine, if it was too thick down here, it wouldn't thread, but that was perfect. So I'm going to hand roll it into the right hole. There we go. It's not hitting anything. And I'm going to hand roll it into the left hole. Hopefully it won't hit anything there either. Yeah, clears everything beautifully. So once you know it's going to go into both of those holes without hitting anything, I'm going to put my foot down. I've got the green light on my machine. Green light right here is what I'm talking about, my start stop button. I'm not using the foot control, and I'm just going to let it sew. And it's going to end with a locking stitch. So for me, this is kind of factory style. I'm just going to hit my start stop button again, and I'm going to let it do it twice. So when I sew my embellishments on with my sewing machine, I almost always just sew them on with this M foot, and I do what I just did. I'm going to hit my cut button, and I'm going to bring this forward. Now I'm going to put my foot up. And I'm just going to slide this forward. And I know it's hard for you to see because you can't see those little buttonholes, but I can see them now and they're ready to go. So I'm going to bring it forward. Before I start sewing, guess what? I'm going to hand roll my needle into the right and the left hole. Make sure it's not hitting anything. Looks good. I'm going to go in the left hole. Looks good. Didn't hit anything. I never trust it, so I do it again. And if that looks good, is my foot down or is it up? Down? I'm going to sew it on. It does a locking stitch, and like I said, I always do it twice. I don't always do it twice, but I usually do it twice. I'm going to hit my cut button on my machine right here. And then foot up. So hard to see because this is down pretty low, and you always pull it forward because you've got to get the button out from in between that little sandwich. So you can't just lift it up. You have to pull it forward. There we go, to get it out from in between this. And look, we are done. And I'm going to do the same thing with the butterfly. Now with the butterfly, and I'm going to just show you with this other one. When we did the butterfly, and we'll pretend, those holes were even further apart. So when I hand rolled, I'll just slide it on here and we'll pretend. When I went to sew that together and I hand rolled, it was hitting part of the button. So if that ever happens, you can make your zigzag wider, which is what I had to do. And I think I had to, so I was set up here to 3.5. That's going to be the default. I had to make it wider, and I think I went to 4. And you're going to see up here it changes it. Once you do that, again, you're going to hand roll first. So I'm going to roll it into here, clears perfectly. I'm going to roll it into the other side, and it clears too. I mean, it is close to the edge of that foot. And then I did it again, and I just let it go. But do not sew it together at 3.5. That buttonhole, the holes are further apart than the 3.5, so you're going to have to adjust on your screen and hand roll it. Hand roll it first. Make sure it goes into the right hole, the left hole without hitting anything, and then you can hit start on your machine. Mine are already sewed on, so I'm not going to do it again, but that is how you're going to sew on your buttons, and that is how you put on your rhinestones. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.